Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ICOM Fireside Chat Lounge. Take up a chair and lean back and get ready to hear a really exciting discussion about our friends at P&G and their journey on IT digitalization transformation. We started with this topic in two ways. One, if you might remember, last year we were speaking with our friend Taide on more broadly data-driven transformation. But for those of you, and I know there are some of you in the audience who joined us in Seville in 2016, you might remember a bar sketch that we did featuring some friends of ours from Unilever that represented IT and marketing and their sort of journey at the time and their tension between the demands of marketing and what IT could deliver connected to the world of MarTech. So it's great that we can continue to come back to this to give some coverage. And for that, I want to first reconnect with my friend Taide and bring her into the lounge. Hello, Taide. Taide is Vice President Brand Europe and Brand Mastery Society inductee at P&G in Geneva. Hello, Taide.
Hello, good to see you, Andreas.
And I'd like to also welcome her colleague. We're going to up the ante a little bit this time. We're going to bring in one of her colleagues that's looking after IT. That is Ariel Caceres, Senior IT Director and Digital Strategist at eBusiness Europe at P&G. Hello, Ariel.
Hello, Andreas, everyone.
Great. Well, let's get right to it. So if we talk about some of those past struggles just generally in the industry, historically, large-scale companies have been known to struggle to break down the silos across functions, and certainly marketing and IT have been cited in the past in the industry. Synergetic relationships. Can you talk about your journey at P&G? What this relationship has looked like from the beginning?
Sure. Let me maybe take a first stab at it. If I go back to the origins of our big realization was that there is no building without technology. And for that, we had to really find a way to really operate differently, across the function, across any function. Say for us, there had been three key ingredients to the transformation and to the journey that we have been on for now the best part of 3 to 4 years. The first one was, a reassessment and a reprofiling of the role of IT in our company. And obviously, this is all powered by the great progress we've been doing on using data as a way to drive the business forward. But we come to drive the business in moving from IT as a function into business leaders with IT skills. Okay, and that was a very profound transformation for us. We had to revisit the skills, we had to revisit the type of roles that we had. We created new roles like IT marketing technologies or data scientists or data engineers, and really put a lot of focus on the combination of IT technical skills. I still remember, one of the first conversations I had with, a big, recruiting company when they were telling me, you're looking for a unicorn. This problem in the industry. It was true at the time. We have a 23 team strong to prove otherwise. So that was the first step, really, building, renewing the IT role as a business leader. Only this renewal only gets validated by driving, action and driving credibility. So the second to all of this is really a great inclusive courage, okay, that marketing and in particular had into the vision. Because this is all easier said than done, but it requires some, pretty courageous choices. So, for example, we use profiles than marketing profiles, which is obviously getting into a very, and a very acute nerve of, who owns the headcounts and where's the money flowing. So a very courageous move as well. And we also, in terms of inclusiveness, we really went very, very far in making sure that the IT team was fully embedded with the business team. So they were breathing the same air. They were really having the same challenges day in and day out as all of the marketing clients. So that was probably ingredient 2 of the transformation that allow us to, move into action very seamlessly. The last ingredient, I think, it has to do with a cultural transformation. And this essentially comes in 2 flavors. One is P&G is very progressive in the thinking of what leaders mean. We really think about leadership in a broad sense and really focus more on skills that one brings to the party more than the silos that we create with functions. But this is a culture that needs to get fostered day in and day out. So there was that's built on in trying to build these functionless roles that we're creating. But then also we had to go into quite significant business process transformations, because obviously if we're going to be trying the way we operate the processes and stay the same, and that also required a very strong cooperation between the 2 functions and a very deliberate effort to move it forward. So I would summarize those would be probably the 3 ingredients. Start very small. We started with just a handful of people in this model to a very broad and solid team right now.
Fantastic. Taide, what were some of your experiences?
I mean, I would say fully, endorse what Ariel has said. You made me think that actually I was also probably lucky to kind of come there at that point in time where the IT function had, kind of decided to take this route. I would also say that I was probably lucky to find Ariel on my road, because, I need to say a lot of it has to do also with the personal, kind of ability to kind of drive change. So some flowers for you, Ariel. And I think the timing also was right. We had been talking about data for a while in the company. Data is the new oil. Data is so important. But then the progress was here and there. It was very scattered until the company decided, look, we need to put some order here. And so the timing was right. So timing was an important, part of this journey of transformation that I would not, underestimate in anybody's transformation journey.
So I just want to clarify that this new IT department is in fact new and dedicated to transformation and not part of the pre-existing one that's handling a broad array of IT responsibilities. Is that correct?
No, not fully. We're still part of the same old good IT department, except that IT we really have different domains of specialization. So the group of people in my team and in a broader team that focuses really on driving digital transformation and building the business with data, we actually took a stab at reframing our job scope and our skills required and how we integrate it with the business and the business processes. But we didn't do this in isolation as a separate entity. This is actually very much in sync with our total IT digitization strategy that stems from our CIO directly. So this is something that is a sort of separation from the motherhood. But I think it is, in the case of Europe, a very deliberate attempt at really getting very narrow, very precise on what are the key components that make success.
Fantastic. So, you might have, heard sort of in my initial description when we first looked at this topic back in 2016, that there was more, let's say, in the industry, as far as I heard, more, tension between marketing and IT than agreement. Now in this new initiative, how did you get past initial conflict to achieve an inclusive and collaborative relationship that you have now, where IT is, very much familiar with the overall marketing goals, and informed about the and marketing more informed about the technological aspects and requirements?
Yeah, it's a very good question, Andreas. And in fact, I mean, there's and if I were to say what was one of the key enablers of us kind of deciding to, I mean, at the beginning, it was a little bit of kind of the coalition of the willing, if you want, was the very exciting opportunity we have to leave a legacy in the company, to really provide, augment people's ability to do business with data. And that's actually that dream and that vision. I have a dream. We're going to do our work with less time, with less effort. We're going to be able to have superpowers of data. Actually galvanized not only IT and marketing, but also sales and finance around a purpose that was, how can we drive this from, occasional, from sporadic to systemic, to drive that huge impact across all of the P&G business, across all of the regions, across all of our brands. The ambition was high, and it was, I still get the goosebumps when I talk about that. And I think if I were to quote the one ingredient that I would recommend highly to all is that one. If you don't have a compelling vision of something you're going to leave, for generations to come, when the transformation is so big than compared to what we have done, I think it just makes things a lot harder.
Okay.
And if I could add one more thing, Andreas, sorry if I may add one more thing. I think this makes careers more exciting for everyone. I think one fascinating thing that I have witnessed happening is there are meetings in which you cannot distinguish who is IT and who is marketing. We have meetings which by this whole IT person, and I have witnessed some of our marketing leaders teach technology to a room full of regional IT people. So it's much more fulfillers and encouraging, which you can really have a path which is not straight, but that takes lefts and turns, and that really gets you into learning new things and new value to the business.
And it was not always not easy. I mean, the poor, IT and Ariel and his team have to explain 27 times things to me and to my team, and we get to the whiteboard and explain, and this is how the DMP works and how it connects and how he had to repeat it many, many times. It was also interesting to get also the IT team outside of the previous way of working, which is, I just need to deliver this tool and I'm done. No, actually, we need to transform the process and the activity system. So we kind of, through these experiences, we converged and to a place where I can say right now, as Ariel was describing, it's pretty much a silo-less operation we have in P&G today.
Fabulous, very, very, very inspirational. Let me drill down a bit. And as some of you may have heard me say before, certainly organizational culture is probably, if not the leading barrier to optimizing and maximizing smart data marketing. It certainly is in the top three in most companies. And so let me touch on that here. In terms of the link between organizational culture and driving change, how do you facilitate and encourage integration and adoption of change by making it part of sort of the employee MO versus, let's say, just another add-on or Band-Aid?
I would say, we really integrated it very clearly to the reward system of the people. And the way we did it is, We first were very clear with the measures that were linking the data work to the business results, either sales or savings or productivity. So we made a very clear connection that it was not about the tool, and actually it had to be a big intervention, and it would be showing in everybody's result. So definitely that was one. We secured support from the top. So we had our president, we had the senior vice president of the region also supporting very clearly, and actually beyond us going and talking to all of the markets and all of the brands, it was them in their interactions that were asking, what are you doing with the data capabilities? Of course, the vision I already mentioned, it's an important ingredient without which nothing really works. And also importantly, I would say the fourth ingredient is resources. You can talk a lot, but if you don't have resources in terms of people and in terms of budget to invest in minimum viable products if you want at the beginning, and to experiment, then it's kind of hard to get people's appetite to invest into incubate or scaling capabilities. So a minimum of resources is actually absolutely part of this cocktail needed.
Ariel, what do you think? No, definitely, very well said. Fully aligned with Taide. If I can add just one more thing, maybe is that we believe very deeply in growth mindset, which essentially means embracing change as a way of going forward. So everything that Taide says is absolutely right, and obviously we have a business to run, and obviously we need very hard objectives, and this trickle down into reward systems.
Okay.
Some cases where we want to learn fast.
Perfect. Taide, to what degree do you think you've tapped into the potential for this, in the collaboration between marketing and IT? And what would be sort of your next, let's say 3 projects to collaborate on in future?
Well, I mean, if you ask me in terms of collaboration potential, I think there's still, it can always be perfected. I think we're at a pretty good level, and we need to continue kind of, moving to this. So I would say, to give a number, 70% there in terms of the collaboration. I would think, though, that more exciting than that is actually kind of taking us to take it to the next level, the potential of applying advanced data-driven approaches to the way we do business. It's just 1%. I don't know. We have 99% to still exploit. We have so much work to do. We have so many applications we still have to develop. It's so exciting, everything that, by the time you think you know something, it's already obsolete. And so I think that there's a lot of deliverables that will actually make our collaboration even tighter and stronger. It will also make the DNA of our organizations in the market a lot more mixed in profile between IT and brand. It's already happening. I mean, if I take a look at the composition of my brand, is a lot a lot more hybrid. Now, in terms of the challenges, the biggest challenges that we see in front of us, I'm going to let Ariel. Actually, Ariel, why don't you talk about the challenges in front of us?
Yeah, happy to. I mean, I agree that we have phenomenal foundation to build upon, but we're always starting. And just to quote a few things that are definitely happening in the short-term future. The whole media landscape is changing with the deprecation of cookies. Okay, that will change radically how we do business, and we will have to be joined by the hip again, the 2 functions to drive this forward. Taide talked abundantly about the importance of data, how data translates into business results, and data essentially requires technology to operate similarly for able to deliver. So we have big ambitions there too. And then from a cultural point of view, just reinforcing what we were talking before, I think this idea of functionless leadership is an idea that is very promising. We are only scratching the surface, and I think we need to learn a lot in that respect.
Fantastic. I'm really excited about our discussion, and I know there's a lot more to uncover. Unfortunately, I've been signaled we have time. We're at time for this session. I would like to encourage everyone who's interested in this topic to join us in the Meet the Speaker breakout sessions after the plenary session today for a half-an-hour discussion with our esteemed speakers. So thank you very much, Taide. Thank you very much, Ariel. I look forward to joining you for your breakout session.
Thank you, Andreas. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for having us.